The basics of FDM 3D printing: materials, equipment, and software. FDM, fused deposition modeling, 3D printing is a popular method of creating physical objects from digital designs. This guide will cover the basics of FDM 3D printing, including the materials, equipment, and software needed to get started. Materials. FDM 3D printing uses thermoplastic filaments as the raw material. These filaments come in a wide variety of colors and materials, including ABS, acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, PLA, polylactic acid, TPU, thermoplastic polyurethane, and more. Each material has its own unique properties, such as strength, flexibility, and heat resistance, so it's important to choose the right filament for your project. ABS is a strong, durable material that is often used for creating functional parts and prototypes. It is also relatively inexpensive. However, ABS can be difficult to work with as it requires a heated bed, and it emits a strong smell when heated. PLA is a biodegradable material that is easy to use and produces little odor. It is a good choice for creating parts that will not need to withstand high stress or high temperatures. However, it is not as strong as ABS. TPU is a flexible material that is often used for creating flexible parts such as phone cases, and it is also a good material for creating parts that will be subject to impact or pressure. It's a bit more expensive than ABS or PLA. Equipment. To start 3D printing, you will need a 3D printer. FDM 3D printers come in a variety of shapes and sizes, from small desktop units to large industrial machines. The most common type of FDM 3D printer is the Cartesian style, which uses a moving print bed and a moving extruder to create the object. Other types of FDM printers include Delta and Polar styles, which have different mechanics but still use the same basic FDM 3D printing process. When purchasing a 3D printer, it is important to consider the size of the objects you will be printing, the resolution of the printer, and the materials it is capable of using. It's also important to check the warranty and the support the manufacturer or supplier is offering. Software. To create an object for FDM 3D printing, you'll need a 3D modeling software. These programs allow you to create or import 3D models, and then slice them into layers that the 3D printer can understand. Popular 3D modeling software include Tinkercad, Fusion 360, SketchUp, Blender, and many more. Some of them are free, some of them have a cost, but all of them allow you to create 3D models that can be printed. It's important to choose the right software for your needs and skill level. Some software is more user-friendly, while others are more powerful but require a steeper learning curve. In summary, FDM 3D printing is a powerful and versatile method of creating physical objects from digital designs. To get started with FDM 3D printing, you will need a variety of materials, a 3D printer, and a 3D modeling software. By understanding the basics of FDM 3D printing, you will be well on your way to creating your own 3D printed objects. Once you have all of your materials, equipment, and software ready, you can begin the 3D printing process. Here is a basic overview of the steps involved. 1. Create or import a 3D model. Use your 3D modeling software to create a new design or import an existing one. 1. Make sure your model is in the correct format for your 3D printer, and that it is properly oriented and scaled. 2. Slice your model. Your 3D modeling software will slice your model into layers, which are then sent to the 3D printer. 2. This process is called slicing, and this will allow the printer to understand the 3D model and print it layer by layer. 3. Prepare your printer. Make sure your 3D printer is properly calibrated and that your filament is loaded. 3. It's important to have a clean and level print bed, and to have the right temperature set for the filament you are using. 4. Start printing. Once your printer is prepared, you can start the printing process. 4. The printer will begin laying down the first layer of filament, building up the object layer by layer. 4. The time it will take to print the object will depend on the size and complexity of the model, and the quality of the printer. 5. Post-processing. After the object has been printed, it will need to be cleaned up and finished. 5. This may include removing support structures, sanding, or painting. 5. The post-processing step is important to obtain a good finish on the object, to get rid of any imperfections, and to make it ready for use. 6. Enjoy your finished product. Once your object has been cleaned up and finished, you can admire your finished product. It's important to note that 3D printing is not always a perfect process, and there may be imperfections in the final product. With practice and experience, you'll learn how to minimize these imperfections and create high-quality objects. In conclusion, FDM 3D printing is a fantastic tool for creating physical objects from digital designs. By understanding the basics of FDM 3D printing, you'll be able to create your own 3D printed objects, and take your ideas from concept to reality. As you gain more experience with FDM 3D printing, you may want to explore more advanced techniques and options. Here are a few things to keep in mind. Calibration. It's important to make sure that your printer is properly calibrated before each print. This includes leveling the print bed, setting the correct nozzle height, and ensuring that the extruder is feeding filament correctly. Temperature. The temperature of the print bed and the extruder can have a big impact on the quality of your print. Make sure you are using the correct temperature settings for your filament and that your printer is able to maintain the correct temperature throughout the print. Speed and resolution. The speed and resolution of your printer can have a big impact on the final quality of your print. Slower speeds will give you better quality prints, but will take longer to print. High-resolution prints will also take longer to print, but will give you more detailed results. Support structures. Some 3D models will require support structures to be printed. These are additional structures that are added to the model to support overhangs and other areas that would otherwise not be able to be printed. These structures will need to be removed after the print is finished. Slicing settings. Slicing software offers a lot of settings to tweak, like layer height, infill, and so on. Experiment with these settings to find the best balance of quality and speed for your specific project. Customizable settings. Some 3D printers allow you to customize settings like the extruder, the print bed, and even the firmware. This can help you to achieve a better quality and consistency, and to improve the overall performance of the printer. Post-processing. There are many ways to post-process 3D prints, including sanding, painting, and using a finishing solution. Experiment with different methods to find the best approach for your specific project. In summary, FDM 3D printing is a powerful and versatile technology that can be used to create a wide variety of objects. By understanding the basics of FDM 3D printing, materials, equipment and software, you'll be able to create your own 3D printed objects, and take your ideas from concept to reality. As you gain more experience with FDM 3D printing, you can explore more advanced techniques and options to improve the quality and consistency of your prints.